Public authorities in New York State hand out a lot of public money in an effort to spur economic development and create jobs. We're talking about those IDAs and LDCs. Your county or town almost certainly has one or two or maybe more. But are they really creating jobs? An authorities watchdog says not so much. We have told you before, many of New York's public authorities operate in the shadows with little accountability.
We live in a time where we need to require more accountability.
Now the agency in charge of shining a light on this shadow government, the New York State Authority's Budget Office, is out with some eyebrow-raising numbers. The ABO says tax breaks, grants, and loans don't necessarily mean new jobs. Take IDAs, industrial development agencies. The ABO says IDAs have created 4,500 jobs in the past 5 years. That's just 1% of all new jobs in New York, despite the IDAs getting $2.3 billion in net tax exemptions. The bulk of those jobs came in the New York City, Long Island area. Are we getting our bang for the buck?
What we're seeing is a lot of money being spent on financial assistance, and we're seeing marginal impact on the overall growth in private sector jobs in New York State that can directly be attributable to IDAs.
The ABO says LDCs, local development corporations, rarely are a major factor in economic development and don't create many jobs. Last year, out of 195 LDCs, only 25 awarded grants, and those grants, which averaged almost $400,000 each, produced less than one job per grant. 43 loans were handed out and created fewer than 5 jobs per loan. And as I've told you before, many local communities have multiple LDCs and IDAs.
There's no reason to have, again, 600 entities in 57 counties. I mean, you know, they're tripping over each other.
Locally, a review of authority projects that were approved 5 years ago and are still active paints a similar picture. The Montgomery County IDA, $346,000 in tax breaks for 2 projects, 28 jobs projected, only 3 jobs actually created. The Schenectady County IDA, $256,000 in tax breaks for 1 project, 17 jobs projected, but actually a loss of 6 jobs. And the Rensselaer County IDA, $57 million for 4 projects, 462 jobs projected, 190 jobs actually created. That averages out to $302,000 to create each job.
No one, I think, in their right mind can argue that they're having a significant impact across the state on creating private sector jobs.
The numbers just aren't there.
The numbers just aren't there.
And again, all those numbers come from the ABO. Now, we tried to contact Brian McMahon. He's the executive director of the Economic Development Council, which represents IDAs. We did not get through to him, but he has said the ABO numbers don't adequately take into account the jobs that were preserved. Now, on top of all this, there are the continued concerns about accountability. The ABO says more than a quarter of all public authorities are non-compliant with the public accountability, transparency, and disclosure requirements of state law.